Welcome back, everyone, to Express Financial Insights, where we dive deep into the pressing economic issues facing us today. I'm your host, Neil, and in today's episode, we're going to unpack some alarming trends that could potentially lead to a financial crisis if not addressed. Let's start with the current state of the US economy. It's no secret that we're facing some significant challenges. Record high debt, low savings, and questionable government data paint a grim picture. Our economy is teetering on the edge, with some experts warning of a possible recession or even a depression. Many economists believe that the government's economic data might be misleading, hiding the true severity of our situation. It's a concerning thought, isn't it? Despite official claims of a robust economy, the reality is quite different. We're grappling with record deficits, low savings rates, and soaring household debt. The signs of economic strain are unmistakable. And if that wasn't enough, low approval ratings for current leadership only add to the anxiety. It's a recipe for disaster, folks. Our reliance on spending rather than production, coupled with escalating household debt, paints a bleak future. If interest rates rise, we could be staring down the barrel of a Great Depression. But here's the kicker. Interest rates aren't as high as they should be, and inflation is much higher than reported. The average person is feeling the pinch as prices continue to climb. It's a dire warning from economists. Unless we take decisive action, a Great Depression could be on the horizon for America. Now let's talk about how these economic woes are affecting everyday Americans. Higher costs of living, potential job losses, and the looming specter of recession are weighing heavily on the minds of many Americans. Inflation, stronger than anticipated, is exacerbating our economic woes. While the wealthy may benefit, the general public is left struggling to keep up with rising prices. And with inflation on the rise, asset prices could be in for a bumpy ride. It's a worrying prospect for anyone with investments tied to the market. But there's hope for savvy investors. While real estate and stock prices may remain inflated, gold could provide a much-needed hedge against economic uncertainty. Unfortunately, the government's ability to intervene may be hampered by high inflation and previous borrowing. Brace yourselves, things could get rocky. The Federal Reserve's usual toolkit may not be enough to combat the economic storm brewing. Inflation as a solution to inflation. It's a risky game we're playing, so what's driving these economic woes and what does the future hold? It all comes down to government policies. Inflating the money supply and conflicting fiscal and monetary strategies are only adding fuel to the fire. Despite the Federal Reserve's mandate to stabilize prices, its efforts may be falling short. Low interest rates and excessive spending are compounding our inflationary woes. And let's not forget the elephant in the room. High interest rates could spell trouble for both homeowners and the government alike. It's a wake-up call for investors. Gold, silver, and foreign assets could offer a lifeline in the face of impending inflation. But make no mistake, ignoring the inflation problem won't make it go away. Painful as it may be, addressing these issues head-on is our best bet for survival. So what can we do to steer clear of disaster? It's time to tighten our belts. Cutting government spending and shrinking its size could be our ticket out of this mess. But it won't be easy. The public's skepticism of government intervention runs deep, and for good reason. The fallout from the pandemic has only exacerbated our economic woes. With businesses struggling and fraud on the rise, it's a challenging time for all. And let's not forget the consequences of our past actions. The fiscal and monetary policies implemented during the pandemic may have dug us into a deeper hole than we realize. Higher interest rates loom on the horizon, casting a shadow of uncertainty over banks and businesses alike. But it's not just the financial sector feeling the heat. Americans' rush to refinance their mortgages may have unintended consequences, potentially triggering a banking crisis if interest rates spike. Banks, already facing losses on mortgages and treasury bonds, could be staring down the barrel of insolvency. And with banks highly leveraged, even a minor downturn could have catastrophic consequences. The commercial real estate market isn't faring much better. With prices plummeting and borrowers walking away, banks could be left holding the bag. It's a tough time for retail and office spaces alike. Increased competition and remote work trends are reshaping the landscape, but amidst the chaos, there's opportunity. Businesses are adapting to the new normal, finding innovative ways to thrive. However, the challenges we face run deeper than just the financial sector. Banks are on thin ice, with commercial real estate woes and a looming retirement crisis threatening to push them over the edge. Our obsession with home ownership has created a bubble ripe for bursting, with many Americans ill-prepared for retirement. And let's not forget about Social Security, a Ponzi scheme on the verge of collapse, propped up by unsustainable government spending. The government's reliance on borrowing is pushing us towards a debt crisis of epic proportions. And to make matters worse, the government's handling of Social Security may be unconstitutional, leaving many vulnerable. It's a bleak outlook. Politicians may resort to inflation to avoid making tough decisions, leaving ordinary Americans to foot the bill. So, what can you do to protect yourself in these uncertain times? Diversify your portfolio. Invest in gold, silver, and foreign assets to hedge against inflation and geopolitical risk. Inflation is coming, there's no denying it. Protect yourself by investing in assets that have historically held their value in times of economic turmoil. And don't forget about the global market. Dividend-paying companies worldwide could offer stability in an increasingly uncertain world. Before we wrap up, let's touch on the importance of financial literacy. According to economists, a lack of financial education is contributing to our economic woes. It's time to prioritize financial literacy in schools and beyond. Teaching people to save and invest wisely could be the key to avoiding a potential Great Depression. And there you have it, folks. The road ahead may be fraught with challenges, but with the right knowledge and strategies, we can weather the storm. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay financially savvy. This is Neil signing off for Express Financial Insights.